Okay. You know, today's exactly our 25th day, 25th, halfway through. You know, it's interesting. Everything when you finish the first halfway through, then it becomes a lot easier. Then it's like everything, you know, you feel like it moved faster. And psychologically, I think it's some kind of psychological. Actually, in terms of amount of time from day 1 until 2, and from tomorrow until the last, the same, you know. You know, you remember I told you about my commitment to 2000. You know, Nyungne, I mean, it's 2 day, you see. Then it's the numbers are not adding up. It's like so slow, you know. I'm like, oh boy, commitment is commitment, you know. Commitments are very important, you see. What made me accomplish Nyungne is I made commitment then, you know. And I'm not a loser. I'm not gonna lie and cheat myself, you know. Made commitment to enlightened gurus and Chenreziks and then give up. No way, you know. So then I was like, oh, I don't want to be like 70, 80 years old and still not finish, you know. So the number was like slowly going. And then I was like, oh, I got to, you know, I can't just do Nyungne with group and so on. I have to do some personal Nyungne too, private Nyungne myself. So I did many, you know. Then I realized I need to at least achieve halfway through, 500, you know. So I did a lot of Nyungne on my own. And then when I arrived halfway through, you know, it's interesting. Psychologically, it also feels, oh, kind of like a huge burden has been lifted, so to speak, you know. Feels very good. Like, oh, I'm already halfway through. It's actually the same with like Mundro practice, foundation practice, prostrations like that, you know. 50,000 prostration, then you feel like much easier after that. Yeah, like that. It's emptiness phenomena. We're just playing around. Remember, subject-object phenomena, it's not a thing. You know, that's the point of Buddha's teaching. And it's, you know, at this point in our human experience with the conceptual limitation, there's no reference point of what the ultimate reality really is, you know. You know, like talking about completely Buddha mind, you know. And so everybody's trying to conceptualize, but it's not non-conceptual. That's the thing, you know. You see, I've been telling you that the truth is ineffable, inexpressible, you know. And Buddha, with his perfect enlightened genius and wisdom, with his perfect compassion, still find us to help, you know, point in the right direction. And this is where the emptiness doctrine comes in, very important, you know. It's a very powerful doctrine. You know, it's been said, the emptiness teaching, you know. Initially, it's very difficult for people, like, oh, it's like, you know, because it's completely against your, how do you say, everyday life, that you want it to be real, you know, and you want bodhicitta and virtuous activity, Buddha, Bodhisattva, beautiful, real thing according to your own attachment. See, that's the thing, huh? Yeah. So it's interesting how whole thing works, you know. Non-virtuous, virtuous, cause condition-wise, you know. Pain and suffering, pleasure, pain, suffering, all illusion though, you know. But one is preferable over other. That's the only difference, you know, relatively speaking. But then, you know, Buddha had to teach everything, not only ultimate truth, but everything that which is beneficial, including illusory beneficial. Buddha had to teach. You see? This is why all the virtuous teaching, cause, conditions, all taught. You see? Yeah. That's what constitutes perfect Buddha. You know, he teaches perfectly whatever, even his illusory thing, as long as it's beneficial, Buddha taught, you know, right? So in Buddhist teaching, we understand that anything and everything that which is beneficial to sentient being, it's Buddha activity, actually, you know. Doesn't have to have a label, Buddha's teaching. As long as it is truly beneficial, music, art, science, if it's truly beneficial, as a Buddhist, we believe Buddha was the reason why these knowledges and different types of things is available in the world, you know. Buddha disguised as an artist, disguised as a scientist, disguised as a medicine man, and so on and so on, you know. This is what Buddha Bodhisattva activity means. You know? Yeah, temporary relief pain, you know. Artist Bodhisattva, so fascinating, you know. You know, now I understand very clearly why artist Bodhisattvas absolutely one completely favorable enlightened activity. It's to show aspect of reality that is just not just this alone, you know. Artists, you know. Yeah, and teach people possibility of seeing things differently, you know. You see, that's what awakening means. You need to wake up from just this limited experience, you know. Yeah. So, but that doesn't mean all the artists qualified, okay? There are some unique artists, unique musicians, artists, you know, some very unique musics. And it affects people, you see? That's the thing. Yeah, and then sometime Bodhisattva disguised as a politician too, you know? Yeah. You know, we can see very clearly Mahatma Gandhi was a Bodhisattva, Dr. Martin Luther King was a Bodhisattva, you know. I think Abraham Lincoln in this country, I think, was a Bodhisattva. And then I'd like to give that title also to Gorbachev, Mikhail Gorbachev. Gorbachev had that quality. He was truly a fine being, you know. Yeah, and because of that, the Soviet Union kind of fall apart. That's the problem, you know. You're too nice, and this is what happened. See? Yeah, like that. Among artists, singer-artists, you know, I personally don't know very well, but I thought John Lennon had a Bodhisattva characteristic. The stories that I heard, you know, he's a little bit before my time, you know. By the time I heard about him, I was very young, you know. And he was killed in the 1970s, right? Already, I think it's John Lennon. You know what I heard? This is very things. You know, many of his songs, the fact that this is my opinion, okay? I could be wrong, but I personally believe this, and that is the fact that the Beatles became so famous is because of John Lennon. John Lennon really has real love and compassion for everybody. And his song's expression of that. You know, I heard that song, Imagine People, and he wrote that out of true love and compassion, concern for the humanity when the Soviet Union and the United States, Cold War, height of Cold War. And he's like, think about people, you know, don't try to kill each other, drop atomic bombs and nuclear bomb on each other, you know, people. Yeah, that's one thing. And the other thing I heard that he married Yoko Ono, the Japanese girl, you know. I heard it's also because at that time, right after Second World War, there was so much hatred towards Japanese. See, he's trying to minimize those hatred and so on. So he married her and so on. So those stories I heard like that make me think like, this guy qualified. Yeah. Yeah. It's the love and compassion, you see. These story proves John Lennon genuinely had a love and compassion. You see, that's the thing. Yeah. Dr. King, so powerful love and compassion, you know, during his lifetime. He's influenced so much in African Americans in that country. You know, just the average little Joe, African American guy here, and they start to feel so much love and compassion. Amazing, you know, stories like that. I remember hearing something like amazing. This is Dr. King's effect, you know, like that. Huh? That was fascinating. Artist Bodhisattva. And then there's, of course, a real spiritual Bodhisattva teacher as a spiritual being, like my enlightened guru, Karmapas, Taisiddha Rinpoches, you know, these are genuinely enlightened beings came as a representative of Guru's lineage and so on, you know. For instance, one great example of Lord Gampopa, you know, Lord Gampopa pretend like he went through in marriage and lived and be a medical doctor, and then his wife and kid died. Then he became a monk and practiced and like that. You know, this is all he had to do that. You know, just to inspire people and help people, lead people, things like that. Yes, my dear.
Your guru.
And my guru's dad was a Tibetan medical doctor too. You know. And his mom was helping him to collect some of these herbs, you know, herbs and stuff like that. And she was pregnant with Mikhail Gorbachev and went up the mountain and trying to get these flowers and whatever, you know, herbal things, herbs. And then you know, what do you call that? Water broke or whatever. That thing happened, and then she had to run down, and then. And the story was she didn't, you know, as soon as she got back, baby just came in, just like that, without pain, no difficulty, just came in. That's the story. And then there were one or two, you know what you call like midwife or whatever, right? There were one or two trying to help there and there. And then what they remember, the story was, oh my goodness, this baby is talking. And then it was, oh, he's saying mantra, Om Mani Padme Hum. They recognize that. Oh my goodness, baby's saying the mantra. And then they hear other mantras also that they don't know what Kalu Rinpoche was chanting. Kalu Rinpoche chanted other mantras as well at the same time. That's the story, yeah. And I don't know any mantra chanting, anything like that, or the young Kalu Rinpoche, I don't know. He was born in a hospital in India. I remember, you know, medical. The hospital at Darjeeling. Yeah, I don't remember any mantra chanting story or anything. Actually, you know what? Now I remember. Young Rinpoche was born, and then I remember somebody said there was a rainbow or something like that. I'm not 100% sure, but I remember hearing something like that. We had rainbow the other day.
Double rainbow.